sometimes I go to a shadi just because it's such a great excuse to dance. Pagal. Fully mad. And I see that Nautanki piece in Stories in a Song.
Before we proceed, please remember to subscribe to Binge Buddies. Welcome to Binge Buddies, and
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have you. So, I first noticed you in Khadak. It was one of the first times I saw you in a longer role, and then after that, we saw you in A Suitable Boy. You've been acting in Stories in a Song for a very long time, and it's something that I saw back in 2012. Okay. सुघर बनरी का लाल बनरारी लगता है बेगम इस नगमे को लोरी बनाकर ही दम देगी. Have you always been part of it?
I've been part of it right from the beginning, right from its inception. Yes, in fact, it was supposed to be a performance for a festival called Baja Gaja, which is organized by Shubha Mudgal and Anish Pradhan, and it was happening in Pune. And at the time, it was a piece that we were making just for that performance, and it did so well there that we opened it in Bombay, and it is still running. It's actually my longest running show, and it started in 2011. So yeah, it's been solid.
I saw it in the early days. So my aunt's a dance teacher. So one of the students, Pia Sukanya, I think at that time was part of it.
Yes. Pia is who I perform with. She was my English lady in the piece for the longest time initially, and then now there's another lovely. They're both really such dear friends of mine on and off stage.
And so the other thing that came out from my research was that you are also a Xavierite.
Yes. Xavier's is actually how my journey began in Bombay. I was living in Bangalore before that, and I wanted to experience my college life in another city. And, kind of, I think there was this hunger to also figure out the whole hostel life and find myself, and the whole urge for that sort of independence of, figuring out who I am, all the romance to do with that idea as well. I think that all kind of fits in really well when you move base and you start from scratch again. So Bombay was one of my options, and I really loved the vibe at Xavier. So when I got through, I was like, yeah, this is it, let's do this.
So you've done a lot of work with Namit Das as well in terms of plays and everything. So did that was that like a Xavier's connection, or that just happened through like theater much later?
It actually, I properly met Namit because of Stories in a Song.
Okay.
He's in that play as well, and he's such a gem in that play.
Wow. So you've been, for how long has it been since you've been acting? Because for as an audience, on screen we've seen you relatively recently, just over the past couple of years. But it sounds like you've been doing theater for a very long time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I started my journey with theater actually. I mean, it goes right back to when I was a very little girl. I just loved being on stage, and all the extracurricular activities. I would take part in every single school play that was happening, and it was really just love with performance from a very young age. And then I went to Krishnamurti school in Bangalore, where there was no competition, there was no inter-school things happening. So it was really just a wonderful experience to understand what else education can be, and it was very, very enriching. But I didn't do any theater for the high school years of my life, so to speak. And then I came to Bombay, and Xavier's is full of inter-college festivals, so I dove
all the time.
All the time, exactly. And after college, it was actually just kind of dabbling my feet in a bunch of different things, figuring out what I wanted to do. And a friend of mine was working in a play. Funnily enough, Ali Fazal was working in a play with A.K. Various at the time, and he said, we're doing readings, do you want to come? And I literally started from being the understudy of understudies, bringing the coffee, doing the readings, filling in for actors when they weren't there. It was really joyous as an experience also. And that's kind of how it began. But it's been, I want to say, 11 years doing theater now. 2011 was my big, it kind of, Stories in a Song is what happened, which kind of brought me into musical theater, which is a lot more of what I do because I'm an actor and singer. So, but I started when I was 21. Yes.
Okay.
I've been doing theater for a long time.
So the theater to on-screen transition has been pretty recent. So has that been a conscious decision that you want to do more on-screen web work now, or has it been that like that's just how things panned out with the flow of things?
Um, Honestly, I think when you're doing performance, the hunger to explore it in different mediums just kind of catches up with you. It's very organic. It just happens. You want to explore it in different forms. I did a few docudramas for a channel called Epic. I used to do a lot of comedy sketches with All India Bakchod, which
Yes.
I would do
Yeah.
along with my theater. So that was a good 5-6 years back. I did a few web series as well. I did a television show, but I think the ones that got noticed more were, I played. I was in Pari, which I don't
Correct.
know
Yes.
if you
Yeah.
saw that.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it. I'm not a massive fan of horror as a genre as well.
I had been doing camera work as well. I just hadn't been doing it as extensively. Even now, it's not extensive. God willing, I hope for it to be, because I think once you get a taste of it, it's a wholly different form, and it's very exciting and challenging in its own ways. And
Yeah.
I'm so curious to do more.
Yeah, I think like theater is all about that the live audience, that feedback that you get, and there's like a big buzz that you get at the end of it. And I
Absolutely,
think
very palpable for me.
camera soma it probably doesn't happen on the spot, but the after effects of that, like they sort of last longer because I think the viewership is just a lot more. That's just the way it is in India. Like theater is like you've got a very small niche audience. It's growing now,
Yeah.
thankfully.
I think as far as an instant gratification is concerned, though, there is that with camera work as well. I think there are moments where, where the feeling, I think the idea of honesty is a lot more kind of tangible in that sense, because there's so many other factors that come into play. I wouldn't say there isn't any instant gratification after you've finished doing something. The nerves are still as buzzy as they are. It's just a different form. With theater, you get it instantly. Like if it's a joke, you'll immediately get it within a few milliseconds. You'll get the reaction from the audience. So
Yeah.
this is regardless of the audience, I think. But there's certainly gratification, nerves, adrenaline, all of that flowing when you're on camera as well. Self doubt. There's a lot of self doubt also. So yeah, there are many feelings.
I can imagine so. So I saw a video that you put out on YouTube a couple of years ago now. I think the full Bindas dancing, like doing bhangra to the shape of you. It was such a joy to watch it. Like I stumbled upon it literally only yesterday, but it was such a joy to watch because it was like the true personification of dance like no one's watching. And it was amazing. So is that like that's just you in general? Like your personality is just like very bindas and bubbly and
I
enthusiastic.
love dancing. I'm also very, very shameless. I can get up and dance anywhere, anytime. Sometimes I go to a shadi just because it's such a great excuse to dance. I think at that point, I think people were putting up a lot of different versions of Shape of You. And I was doing a television show at that time where in every episode, came as a different avatar. Sometimes I came as Sri Devi, sometimes like Madhuri Dixit, sometimes a Korea boy, sometimes a Sardar. So I was actually a milkman in this episode with the turban and with the dhoti and all that. And I had some time to kill, and the song had been playing in my head. So I was like, I was really friends with the costume designer who was like, Chal, I'll take your video, we'll play this song. So it just happened very naturally. I mean, yeah, I love doing all this. Yeah, I think it's just
It
so
was
much
super
fun.
fun
It's
to
a
watch.
great release.
Did you like always want to be an actor even as a child? Ki that's something that just with doing a lot of theater and all go over time it just happened.
I had no such plans. I was always kind of, I mean, I don't know. I remember just really loving the feeling of performing and being on stage. Also,
Mm.
very expressive generally as a person. If I'm sad, I express myself. If I'm happy, I express myself. If I'm angry, I express myself. So it's like, expression is my thing. It's what I do. It's therapeutic. It's everything. So I always knew that I kind of enjoyed it, and I also really love connecting with other people. And this form is really so wonderfully enmeshed with that. I think in the larger picture, it's all about connection. So I think it was pretty ripe as far as that is concerned for me to want to explore further. And but there was no such plan. I came to Xavier's wanting to do psychology honors so that I could pursue psychology, at a later stage in my life. And of course, that didn't end up happening. But I don't think it was really ever thought out. I know that I really liked the idea of freelancing because I've never really had a job which lasted even a year, because of theater I just started doing more and started doing a lot of voice work and stuff to earn the money on the side, but I never really did a full-time job. So, and I think once you become a freelancer, it's really like a bug that bites you. You can't really you're so used to spending your time a certain way as far as work is concerned. You're so used to the creativity of like jumping from project to project that yeah, I think I enjoy that a lot, but it wasn't thought out. It kind of just
I think
happened.
it's like for creative people, like that 9 to 5 seems very like restrictive and binding, and probably like
It
after a
seems
point get very
everything.
boring also.
Yeah, sure. I suppose so. I can imagine. And I think it's also the structure of it. I think the structure keeps itself mixed up when you're jumping from something to the other. And in this case, it's different mediums also. Sometimes you're working on a play, sometimes you could be on shoot, sometimes you're heavily unemployed. People don't talk about that enough.
Correct.
Actors also have to befriend unemployment a lot. It's a huge part of the game. But
Correct.
again, I really feel it's really important to not just look at that, but look at it in totality. And there's lots of gaps in between. There is a hustle, there is that endless wait. And so it is a combination. I don't think it can be glorified
Hmm.
as an like a perpetually exciting life, because it's not.
Yeah. So as an actor, do you have a favorite medium? Like, do you prefer theater over web over like just a personal choice?
I love all of it, honestly, because I feel there is scope for discovery and adventure and truth in all of them. So they're all exciting. But I have to say that because I've done more theater
Hmm.
and I've done less camera, I would really like to do more camera work. I felt like, I remember even telling Meera this, that I felt so aware of my own hunger on the set of A
Hmm.
Social Boy, because it was just so gorgeous to be on that set and to work with that fantastic team of people, that I think it's like a little family. Each project is like meeting new people who are brilliant at their own fields, who've come from all across the world, and they've come together to create something. It's so collaborative. So that energy is also so contagious. It's wonderful. So, and that's the same with theater. I think there've been like little bunches of experience with like new families each time you're working on a new project. But right now, it's very hard for me to choose. But I would say I'm more hungry for camera work.
Okay. And as a viewer, do you have a choice? Like, do you like watching movies over TV or plays or what? Do you have a preference?
I really, really love watching theater. I absolutely do. So it isn't like I prefer watching films over theater. I think there's like an instancy to, or the entire idea of being in an auditorium and being transported to another place when you're watching a good show. That feeling is quite inexplicable. So I really enjoy both being a part of the audience as well as on stage. So it isn't something I particularly like have would like to favor more. I think it's about what I am watching.
That's true.
So that's what it is, whichever form it chooses to present itself in.
And I think with the new web shows coming out, the content that is available on television has just changed so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the content has improved and opportunities have increased and writing is getting better. So yeah, it's exciting.
So what are your say your top three as a viewer TV shows or web shows, movies and plays?
Um, I absolutely loved Fleabag. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a gift to content and to the world, and to the idea of just normalizing things that are not talked about. I think she's written so well and performed so well. And I also saw a recording of the show, actually, the National Theatre Live show
Mm.
version of Fleabag, which was really fantastic. So I mean, I can't even imagine uh, performing a monologue like that. It's so fantastic. I saw I May Destroy You on Hotstar, which I loved. If you haven't seen it, you really should.
Not
Again,
yet.
female protagonist. So good, so good. I haven't seen such a great performance in a while. Um, I actually saw this film by Xavier Dolan on Movie recently called, I think it's Matthew and Matthias. It's a story of two boys who, shoot a short film together, and the things that come out of that. It's really fabulous. It also has an incredible score. So I saw that recently, and I really, really enjoyed that. I haven't been able to. I'm totally crushing on Xavier Dolan right now. Like I was like immediately like Instagram, like who's this guy? Like doing stalking right now. And he's a very young filmmaker, and he's been to Cannes I don't know how many times. He's incredibly talented, very young and very talented. So yeah, these are the things I watched recently, which I really liked.
Has the lockdown changed things for you massively, or it's been like a nice time to just do stuff that you usually never have the time to do?
Again, like I said, our jobs actually give us quite a bit of free time. This is just my experience. That's why I keep talking about the phases of not having work and what do you do in those phases. So I feel like the lockdown, in a sense, wasn't like the hugest shock for me to mold myself into or around, because I am a homebody anyway. I don't really like you know go out that much. A lot of our socializing happens in our friends' homes, or we'll meet for a beer down the street or whatever it is. It's not. So I didn't have a problem being at home at all, but it's of course affected us in the sense, you've had to dig into your savings so much more this year because work hasn't happened. And now that it's slowly opening up again, because I've been with my family for the last couple of months, I don't want to take a risk. But I'm incredibly grateful for everything that it's the smallest things that it's shown me again, whether it's just the joy of being with my family for an extended period of time. I mean, it's so healing. Or the fact that you have all this time to even do nothing. That in itself is so restorative, and it's something we haven't had as a collective in so long. It's like an enforced staycation. So I think it's been quite individual in that way. But for me, there's been a lot to be very, very grateful about.
I'm just gonna name a few people, and you need to say the first word or the first thought that comes to your mind when I take their name.
Okay.
So Meera Nair, firstly.
Oh, one love, one for love. That's what she says whenever she takes another take, a last take, almost like for safety. She says one for love. And for me, Meera is all for love. It's just love.
Namit Das.
Pagal. Fully mad. And I see that Nautanki piece in Stories in a Song. That's the first thing that comes to my head. That's who Namit is. That personification is Namit.
He was so amazing in it. It's been such a while since I've seen that. But I remember that the last bit of that where everyone comes together and Namit's right in the center. And he literally, like, despite so you can't take your eyes off him, he literally holds the audience in that last bit. So it was,
I know his eyes sparkle when he's singing. I think he does
yeah.
it from his heart so much. It just shows through. You can't not enjoy it as much as he's enjoying it.
Jim Sir.
Uh, oh God, what's the first word that comes to my mind? Oh my God. Fiery.
Ranveer Shore.
Friend. He was just such a great friend to me on Kadak and such a wonderful co-actor. I had so many moments of vulnerabilities, so many moments of feeling weak and feeling unable. And he has such great experience as well. And he's so good. He was just always there to offer me solace and give me really great advice, or, allow me to cry when I needed to. He was really, really wonderful to work with.
Okay. And finally, Mahira Kakkar.
Oh, everybody called her Ma on set. I actually had to call her Ma because she is like a mother figure to me in the show. So the first word that comes is Ma, but also Pimmi, because she plays Pimmi in Monsoon Wedding in Berkeley, and I played Pimmi in Monsoon Wedding in Delhi. So we both have the same parts, but we also quite instantly connected on the set. So it was really lovely. I had a lot of fun working with her. But yes, the word would be Ma.
That's lovely. It was really, really nice chatting with you. Thank you so
Nice
much
talking
for
to
taking
you.
out the time.
Of course. Thank you for having
Have
me.
a lovely day. Bye.
And you. Bye.